Firstly, how big of a problem is inflation right now in India, all things considered, especially considering the incredibly robust growth rate as well?
Well, inflation has been above the uh, target zone fixed by the authorities through a statute. We have an inflation targeting program in India with 4% as a central point, with plus or minus 2%. Therefore, the comfort zone is between 4% and 6%. But because of the variety of factors, both domestic and global, the inflation rate has been above the 6% for the last several months. For the most recent period, month for which the data are available, India's inflation rate was 7.4%. Therefore, it is a matter of concern, but it is expected that as the global situation improves and as the supply disruptions come down, the inflation rate will also come down. But as of now, it's still above the target level or the comfort zone prescribed by the statute.
But how much can the RBI do in that respect, considering that I would imagine that a large, or not a total amount, but a significant amount of the inflation that is being currently experienced in India, I'm thinking about energy, I'm thinking about aspects outside of the control of the central bank, and with such a strong domestic demand component in India right now, do they risk impacting growth by hiking too severely to address something that could potentially be outside of their control?
Well, there are many factors which are responsible for the rise in inflation. Obviously, the sudden rise in the petroleum prices immediately after the Russian-Ukraine war had a sudden impact, and there was a very sharp rise in that category of for fuel prices. Then there are also other factors. As demand picked up a bit, the domestic factors also contributed to the rise in inflation. I'm not an insider of the RBI at the moment. I was governor many years ago, I think more than a few decades before I was governor. But to come back to the point that you raised, that this is a result of both domestic and external factors. In some sense, the expansionary expenditure policy, the fiscal policy adopted during COVID period, not only by India, but by also many other countries of the world, including USA and UK, also resulted in the fiscal deficit going up and the support being given to the borrowing program by the central bank of the country. There was an expansion in liquidity also. But the upsurge in prices started in a big way after the Russian-Ukraine war and the consequent increase in the petroleum and other related prices. There was a good deal of disruption in the supply chain.